Hey, so good morning. I'm sitting here with Daddy. We are in the Trim Cane Productions base camp right now, and we got a little something special. Daddy's gonna walk us through the basics on tying your own crappie jigs, and we caught some crappie on them yesterday. Well, no, day before yesterday. Anyway, so he's gonna show us the basic things you gotta have, and the basic little tools, and just how to get started tying your own jig. So let's check it out.
So we got to thread our bobbin. And get some black thread on the bobbin. It's all out of whack. There we go. So we got our jig head and our vise, our tying vise. I like to start with a little bit of glue on the jig head. Now this jig head was made to put a rubber jig on, but it works this way too.
All right, so hold on. If I'm gonna start tying these jigs, show me the main basic tools that I got to have.
Well, you need a pair of scissors.
Okay.
So this is a whip tool. This is what you tie your last couple knots with. You need a vise. You need a bobbin. And you got to have thread. You got to have some flash. You got to have either some feathers or some bucktail. This is some white feathers. And this is some wild feathers right here. And pretty much that's it. You need a little bit of glue so you can.
Now this thread, is this cotton, polyester, nylon? What is this?
This is a 210 flat waxed nylon.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a black and chartreuse jig with pink head with white eyes. I already put a little bit of glue on there. We're gonna start this thread. Now, most jig heads that you would use wouldn't have that much buildup of lead on it already. But I like using these. It's okay. Tighten that up a little bit. Now, always leave a little bit of this thread on the tail. I'm just getting it started. We're gonna use the chartreuse feather. This is hackle feather. Then get us a couple out of here. We're gonna put 2 of them on it. Oh well, went all over the floor. That's good, I guess. So we're gonna stand them up. I like for them to curl up if they can. So I watched quite a few videos on how to do this. I watched a guy. He says you want your hook to be 50% or less of the profile. So our hook is here. We say we're about 50%. I'm gonna cut
so
this.
You want what, half the hook or less than half of the hook sticking out of the
right
feather.
If you see, that's right. That feather, you don't want that feather to be too terrible long.
Okay. So about
I'm
midways, I guess we'd say.
So,
well, that looks good already. If I was a fish, I'd bite that. I mean, that's a pretty looking little, like a little nymph or whatever they call those things.
this is probably your #1 color in crappie fishing is this pink, black, and chartreuse. So I'm gonna leave this little black thread right here. Just a little bit of, adds a little bit of something else to it. Now I'm gonna get some flash. On this one, I probably would use just some silver flash. You don't want your flash to be too much longer than the rest of your profile. I'm gonna put it on there and then I'll trim it out. So I'm just holding that flash between my fingers I roll it up there, so you want that flash to kind of flare out a little bit like that. And then we'll trim this flash off just about the length of our feathers. I failed to mention was chenille. The chenille is the body part. So we'll start the chenille on there. He's probably blocking you out a little bit right there, but we're gonna get the chenille tied on real good and tight. And then I talked to quite a few different jig tying people, and I saw a guy one time had a really tight looking body, and he said, "Let's put a little glue down the body."
Now, what kind of glue was you working with?
This is a glue that's made to finish a jig of flies. It's a fly tying glue is what that is. Okay. I was using just super glue. So then we're gonna wrap this chenille really tight on here, and every wrap is kind of getting a little bit of glue mixed in it. And then you want to tie that chenille on. I'll make about 3 wraps around the chenille, go back around the head. I'll make about 3 more wraps like that. Slide it back up tight around the head and clip the chenille off. And then this whip tool. It's not really easy to learn how to use this whip tool, but I've learned it like this. Put both sides on, let it spin, and it's tying a 1/2 inch knot around there every time. Pop it up. Okay, we're gonna put about 3 more on it just to make sure it's tied. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then you let it pop off the back, and you let it slide right down to the head. Pop it out of there. And I always pull on it real tight.
All right, hold on, before you cut that, show us how to thread on that little whip tool.
How to put it on the whip tool?
Yeah.
Lay it down on there like that.
All right, lay it across.
And you pull this up, and see this is a spin right here in your hand. It's got, and you make like a triangle.
You cross it there and it makes a little. Okay.
And then you just spin it around that head. It ties a knot every time you go around it.
You just keep spinning it.
Yep. But now, every old country boy knows how to tie a 1/2 inch. It works just as good.
That's just a little tight.
Regular old 1/2 inch. There you are. That is a Mike Bayham special right there.
And they work, because we caught crappie on them 2 days ago.
And that is a pretty good size number 4 hook right there.
Number 4 jig head hook.
Sickle. It's called a sickle hook. It's kind of got those sharp turns to it.
If y'all watched the video where Manette and I was at the little secret pond, I had one of Daddy's little jigs with this gold head, and I think he had some natural turkey feather on it and some gold looking flash on there, sort of a copper gold looking flash. And I caught that little bass almost first cast with the jig he tied. So they work, and it doesn't look too hard. Just need basic tools. You need to have obviously a thread and these little bobbins that sort of keep you thread. It reminds me a lot of a serving tool. If you've ever served a bowstring with serving thread where you knock your arrows, it reminds me of a serving jig to serve bowstring with. And then obviously you need a vise. You got 2 different kinds. This one is a little more basic, it looks like, but probably works just fine. This one, it's got a few more bells and whistles on it. And then obviously you need you need some feathers, and you can use different kinds of feathers. You can probably get as creative as you want to. It looks like, this looks like nail polish. You using that for glue as well?
Yes.
Everybody's wife's got some of this. If you don't have a wife with nail polish, you can stop by any dollar store.
That stuff there is called hard as nails.
Hard as nails.
So okay. I got you a little chicken feather here.
Oh, we got chicken feather off of one of our chickens out of the yard right here a few minutes ago, and he's gonna tie a little jig with it real quick.
Okay, where is, so we might put this purple flash in there. Just to change the color a little bit. My jig head is moving around.
Of course, it looks like a lot of this stuff came from Cabela's and the Honey Hole. This place is in Monroe, Louisiana, right here.
Yeah, I've been
to the Honey Hole before, but I'm kind of a if you want to call me an El Cheapo, I'd be pulling tinsel off the Christmas tree and stuff like that. Probably the time.
Hey, that'll work. That'll work.
Old pieces of shoestring or something. I'll find something.
I'll make sure to leave this chicken feather with you.
Okay.
You have to name it after the chicken if you can figure out which one it came off of.
It looks like off one of those Buff Orpingtons to me.
Right.
I'm serious. It's a buff. That buff, is that buff color on there?
Yeah.
Sort of buckskin. That's a. We call it the Buff Orpington. I wonder how many people's got a jig named Buff Orpington out there. Probably none. Oh man, I like those colors.
Once you get everything out, all set up, it don't take long.
It looks like it could be addictive. Just tying them.
It could get you. So I'm gonna leave you a vise.
That looks good.
And a little bit of equipment. So you can, so we just kind of moving along here pretty quick. Probably never be another one made just exactly like this one. It really takes some time to get used to that tool right there. Biggest challenge for most people to start out tying.
All that does is just finish your tie, just pulls it all down tight. And
yeah, tight. It does just like a half hitch.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Buff Orpington.
And once that gets wet, this all be like a little straight line once it gets wet, like that. Wow. If you want to hold on 1 second, I'll wet it, show it to you.
Okay.
It's wet. So when it gets wet, it becomes a straight little thing like that. It floats down into the fish like this. It would drift down to him like that. Mm. There it is.
Wow.
That is fine looking, huh?
Yep.
A Buff Orpington.
Orpington.
All
right, thank y'all for watching. Y'all probably seen Daddy on some of the videos. We made a set hook fishing, catfishing video last summer. I don't know, about this time. But anyway, this is the man that taught me most of what I know about the outdoors. Of course, I have taught him a few tricks, but he just taught me this morning how to tie my own crappie jig. So hopefully you'll learn how to tie your own crappie jigs. You could probably buy them in the store just as cheap, but there's just something special about making your own equipment, tackle. I like to reload shotgun shells and all that kind of stuff. So thank y'all for watching. Hey, like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. See y'all next time.